Are you friendly with Elizabeth Warren at all?
Sure, yeah.
You like her?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I
do.
realize, I think you two have something in common. Listen to this.
Okay.
I'm watching something with her on TV.
Right.
She's talking about how she met her husband. And she says, I went up to him. I saw this nice guy. I asked him out. And then after a few dates, she turned to him and said, will you marry me? Now, the reason I say, I relate this to you. You're at Yale at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there in the library, maybe?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you see that Bill Clinton, a guy you don't know, is staring at you.
True. I said, if you're going to keep staring at me and I'm going to keep staring back, we ought at least to know each other's names. I'm Hillary Rodham. Who are you? So that's how I met him. That's how I met him.
Were you nervous doing that?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, my God.
No.
I would never have the guts to even walk up to a woman. So the fact that you could do that. But it is a vulnerable position. Because he could have said to you, oh, I'm not staring at you. Get lost.
Yeah, he could have.
Right.
He could have.
Because he could have been ashamed and embarrassed.
And then I would have known right then he wasn't worth the time.
And he's brilliant because he's at Yale Law.
Right.
I love a romance.
So then it turns out he'd never been there, but we were actually in the same class.
And why wasn't he going to class?
Because he was working on a political campaign to elect somebody to something in Connecticut. You know, politics was his first and foremost love.
You had to be with a go-getter. I mean, you were a hard worker. You
100%. Well, also, as somebody who I thought was really smart with a good heart. I mean, that's what I was looking for.
And also had ambition.
Oh, had to have ambition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But by definition, if you've gotten to Yale Law School, you've got some kind of ambition to do something, right? Anyway, the last day of this class, he shows up in the class. And
looking for you.
Apparently.
Right.
Yeah. And so we're walking out, and he said, where are you going? And I said, well, I'm going to register for classes for next year. And he goes, oh, I'll go too. So we walk, those are the old days when, you actually had to use pencil and paper to register for things.
Right.
And so I stand in line, I get up to the registrar, Bill and I are talking, our first real conversation. And the registrar looks at me, he goes, Bill, what are you doing here? You registered this morning. And so I knew that this was all about, getting to know me.
Right.
Then we went on about a 5-hour date where we took a walk. We get to the Yale Art Museum and they have a Mark Rothko exhibit. And I said, oh, I missed that. I wish I'd seen it because the museum was closed because it was on strike.
Right.
So Bill said, "Why? You really like Rothko?" I said, "Yeah, I really like him. I've never seen his stuff in person, but I've seen, photographs." He goes, "Well, stay here just a minute." So he goes off. This guy I've just met. He comes back. He introduces me to this gentleman. He goes, "This is, John the janitor." And John the janitor said he'll let us in if we pick up all the trash on the lawn.
Oh, my God. What an operator this guy is.
So we pick up the trash.
Yeah.
And then we get to go in and see the Rothkos. And then we end up in the sculpture garden.
See, this is a guy who is a born people person.
And you know what he says, which is so important? He says, everybody has a story. And everybody deserves to have their story told.
No kiss at this point?
Well, we got there eventually.
Not at the museum?
Not at the museum.
I would have kissed him at the museum.
No, not at the museum. Well, I was just getting to know him. And besides, in those days, we did play a little hard to get.
Smart.
You're not giving her the bums right now.
Yeah.